if I were Rick Spielman and I had the 14th pick in the NFL draft, I'm going to take a look at who's there. We know at 11, 12, and 13, O-linemen are probably going to be the target. So what Rick's going to have to do is keep an eye, similar to the Justin Jefferson last year, when Jalen Reagor went at 21, which I'm not going to make a joke about the Eagles. We knew Justin Jefferson was the guy to take there, and so that's an easy pick. So you have to kind of do the same thing. Look at 9 and 10. If you still have guys on the board like Christian Darrisaw, Elijah Vera Tucker, you got all these, Penny Sewell even. If he's still there at like 8 or 9, I'm jumping up to try to get my guy. Penny Sewell is a generational offensive tackle, so if you can get him, you do it. But most likely, he's going to be gone in the top 8. So then if your guy isn't there that you want, that you can possibly get at 11, 12, or 13, and you can't trade with those teams, I'm trading back. Why? Because you don't have a second-round pick. So the goal here is to get draft capital. You look at a kid like Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. We know Alabama offensive linemen are pretty good. We know that they are NFL ready. This is a starter. This is a kid that can come in right away and play in some form or fashion or work in with the next year or two. So if you can drop back and get him in the later rounds or even in the second round, now maybe drop back in the first, and then you get your receiver. You look at, a guy who could be there, Devonta Smith, maybe if he is still there at 12, 13, or 14, because so many linemen are taken, that guy might be there. But that's my goal. I'm going to look at an offensive lineman that I need early, and I'm going to trade up. If they're not there and I don't have that ability, I'm going to see what receiver I could take. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the defensive back situation, but if there is a guy, and I hate to say this, we know Mike Zimmer loves cornerbacks. If there is a guy there like Patrick Surtain out of Alabama as well, I'm taking him. Why? Because I think you have to take the best player available that can fit your roster. And that's the key. You don't always want to reach for a guy to fill a position where you can maybe get another guy in later rounds that end up working out. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguars running back, undrafted, ended up being, their starter. That happens a lot. Adam Thielen, it took some time, but don't always think you have to reach for a guy, because when you do, oftentimes you reach for the wrong guy, and then Vikings fans are out here upset about a guy that's a bust. So that's my key. If I were Rick Spielman, I'm going to get my offensive lineman, whatever I have to do to trade up to get him. If not, I'm going to trade back, grab a late first-round receiver or lineman, and then get some draft capital and try to get a second-round pick back, because we know Dalvin Cook, you look at all those guys like that, Brian O'Neill, the second round has some valuable pieces in there. You even had a Cam Dantzler in the third. So don't be afraid to get draft capital in the second and third round, because he has a lot of fourth-round picks right now, I think 4 to 5. You can package those together with maybe your first round and then grab you a second, third round pick and then a later first round pick.